Hey there, what's up YouTube? I am Jerry and welcome back to my program, The Chicago Griller. For those of you who've been with me for a while, you know I don't typically publish on Sundays, so I must have something a little bit different up my sleeve today. Hey, wait, you know what? There actually is something up my sleeve. Yeah, so that's right. Today I am going to be doing something a little bit different and doing an unboxing and initial review on this, the Made In Santoku knife. Okay, I know what you may be thinking. You're thinking, Jerry, what's going on here? You're not a professional chef. Why are you doing a knife review and unboxing and not showing me grilling times? Well, it's because if you want to break out of just making burgers and steaks, you need to know how to prep. And in order to prep, you need a good knife. And quite frankly, all my current knives are junk. So what makes what's in this box supposedly so great? Well, I did pay $99 for it, so there's that. But other than that, it's also endorsed by a whole host of celebrity chefs like Grant Achatz, Stephanie Izard, and Tom Colicchio. Okay, so well, I guess that's good enough for me right now. Let's see what the hype is all about. Here I have the box laid out on my kitchen counter. It is very clean and modern. And turning it over to see what's on the back. Made in France, born in Austin. This is an American company, so that's pretty cool. Anyways, enough of this. Let's open the box and see what's inside. Okay, we got an insert to show you some of the features. I'll just set that aside. Kind of a welcome and thank you note. I'll just set that aside. Oh, and the Band-Aid. That's pretty cute. Hopefully I won't actually need this though. Put that aside as well. And okay, on to the good stuff. Let's check out what this knife is all about. And you see it comes with a nice hard-sided knife sheath. And look at that. This looks beautiful. Not too surprisingly, one of the first things I noticed with this knife out of the box is that it's razor sharp, but also that it's quite lightweight and holds and feels really good in my hand. I'm actually quite surprised by this because normally I use this 5-inch knife and the weight feels pretty much the same in my hands. Anyways, I'm going to set this Made In knife down now and measure it out. Made In says the blade is 7 inches long, and yep, there it is, 7 inches long. Now, I can't really get over how light and how good this feels in my hand. I'm really quite surprised because I'm used to holding this 5-inch knife, and really side by side in both hands, I can't really feel the difference. I've actually been a little bit worried myself that using a regular sized knife that's 7 or 8 inches long would be kind of cumbersome for me, but I don't think that's going to be the case. Anyways, let me show you one of the main reasons why I wanted to upgrade. This generic knife is so nicked and so dull, it really can't do any damage to my skin or any food. Here, check this out. I'm going to do a paper test, and you're going to see how pathetic this thing is. Here's a regular sheet of paper, and look, nothing. Can't even break the edge. Absolutely pathetic. Now, of course, with the Made In knife, and it just hacks right through it, no problem. No jagged edges, nothing, just straight on through. That's a good sign. But can the Made In Santoku pass the tomato test? And look at that, it just cuts right through it with ease. And I just need to touch the surface of the tomato and it cuts marks directly into it. I lost the footage with my 5-inch generic Santoku knife, but you have to press down hard on it, and when you do, all the juices kind of spill out. However, with this Made In Santoku, you see it cuts clean through with no spillage of the seeds or juices. Okay, cutting paper and tomatoes are fun, but let's actually prepare a dish. I'm going to make chicken kebabs tonight because that uses a variety of ingredients. First I have the onion. I'm going to cut off both the top and the bottom. And as expected, it cuts right through with ease. And after discarding the unusable pieces, I'm going to cut this onion in half. And once again, the blade goes through easily and cleanly. Now, as I said, I am making kebabs tonight, so instead of dicing this onion, I'm just going to cut it into slices, which, as I expected, it handles with ease. And just as a reminder, I am an amateur home chef, so apologies to all those viewers who may be offended by my poor knife handling and cutting technique. Anyways, I'm done with the onion. Let's try a pepper. Today I have a yellow pepper. And once again, no surprises here, it cuts right through the pepper with ease. Again, I'm sure the technique I'm using for cutting this pepper is incorrect, so apologies to those pros out there who say I'm wasting a lot of the pepper, or cutting it wrong, or holding the knife wrong. The point is, this Made In Santoku is handling everything that I throw at it with ease. However, as you notice, the vegetables are starting to stick to the blade a little bit, so these Granton edges are probably a little bit of a marketing gimmick. Now, what I mean by Grantons are these little scalloped ridges along the length of the blade. They supposedly create air pockets between the food and the blade so that they don't stick. But again, I don't find that always to be the case. Anyways, let's go explore and see how this knife handles some meat. So here I have my new Made In Santoku and a boneless, skinless chicken breast. When cutting chicken breast, I normally go at it at about a 45-degree angle, like this, so that it makes all the pieces that I cut roughly the same size, because chicken breast tends to be larger on one side versus the other. And check out that cut. It is clean and right through with no jagged edges. And once again, with very little effort, I could carve right through that chicken, and there are no jagged edges, and done so with absolutely zero effort. So as you can see, so far this Made In Santoku is handling these relatively easy tasks with absolutely no problem. So based on that, I'm guessing that most of you beginner or intermediate level chefs who are not doing anything overly ambitious, this Santoku should be good for you for most day-to-day use. As most of my cooking involves slicing, dicing, or sectioning off meat into cubes like this, I think this knife will be more than adequate for my needs. Anyways, that's all the chicken, and now I'm ready to make my chicken kebabs. And here is the handiwork of my new Made In Santoku knife. And after skewering them up, and lastly, we have our final grilled chicken kebabs. Check out the link above, or tune in next week to see how these are made. So now that you've made it this far in the video, I know you all have this burning question in the back of your mind. Is this Made In Santoku knife really worth $99? Especially when compared to this generic grocery store knife that you could buy for just $9. Well, I will say that this Made In did perform really well today. However, as an amateur chef, to be honest, I really couldn't tell much of a difference between the two. Because let's be frank, any knife out of the box is going to perform perfectly. So I think the real test will be to see if it holds up after 3 to 6 months of heavy use, and see if the higher grade steel and better construction really does make a difference even for an amateur chef. If you think a follow-up video like that will be very helpful, definitely say so in the comment section down below. Anyways, thank you very much for watching this video today. If you enjoyed what you saw, definitely hit the like button, comment, and subscribe. Thanks again for watching today. I can't wait to see you all again every Wednesdays and Fridays when I come out with great new recipes and tips and tricks. Bye now.